Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. We're not going to be going over any of the alien stuff tonight. We have a message that we need to drop. And we've had these conversations before, right? If you're new here, then I would have you know we discuss everything from religion to spirituality and everything in between, science, psychology, social events. And we try to relate it back to the spiritual world, right? Astrology, all of that good stuff, all right? Anything that is a bridge between the seen and the unseen, we pretty much cover it, right? We always talk about the karma that we have from past lives and all of these different things that we need to clear up, breaking generational curses and cycles, allowing ourselves to step into energy that will allow us to fulfill our tasks, right? And we've even gone over, the basics. But the creator dropped something in my spirit and he wanted to kind of just go into a little bit more detail. This is a very old conversation that we've had here. When you start to observe your birth chart, you should start seeing connections. And we've had very similar conversations, as I said before, but the creator wanted to kind of just go into this. I got a download last night, and he doesn't want me to go into full detail, but he does want me to basically tell you all about it. And I went through a portal. I didn't go through the portal, but he showed me the portal and how we get to ascend and descend as spiritual beings. And a lot of people are stuck in the lower realms. This is actually how the earth started, and the vibration was gradually built up over time for us to even have sun or have access to sun, for us to be able to grow vegetations, all of the different species. This happened over time. There was a time that this abyss only carried this low dark frequency, right? As life began to form on this planet, the frequency was built up and it started to rise. And as humans evolved, because yes, the reptilians are real. I'm not going to get into that. But they were kind of here first, okay? And you have different species. There are species that came from other dimensions to come here as a lesson, right? To sort of build a bridge between these worlds. Now, when you start learning your birth chart, right? Nobody really starts to talk about the karma that people endure when they start to embark on their spiritual journeys and when things start to manifest in their lives, right? We have all these cycles that we have to go through in order to build ourselves up to a frequency that is compatible with the creator, or that is something that the creator can work with and use, as a source of relations to work through us, rather, right? As we start to develop spiritually, we start to phase through the karma of our charts. So mainly your descending, ascending, moon, and star zodiac signs are the frequencies that are usually worked with. Of course, there are other things going on in the background. You want to look at your birth chart to get a good idea of what energies are currently going to be utilized, right, for your journey. And of course, that is based on the time, the location, and all of that good stuff. Now, I can guarantee you that the ancestors that you are working with or that are transforming through you and shape-shifting through you all share those zodiac signs. I can guarantee that your sun, moon, ascending, and descending sign is the same as theirs, or at least the same planet or element, right? So maybe your ancestor that you're working with is, let's just say a Gemini, right? And you are a Virgo. They share Mercury, right? Which just so happens to be the planet of communication, right? So the lines of communication are open. You all are sharing a frequency. And this is just one example of how the birth chart is allowing us to work out the karma, right? If there is a lapse or a break in communication, meaning the frequencies are off, the cycles might be closed, and this might be a telltale sign that it's time for a new cycle to start, or there's a curse and a hex, and your bloodline is currently waiting for a new child to come in and break the cycle, right? So you might see cuss babies. This is where those cuss babies come in. They are able to do dual things, right? So if you have an idea of astrology and astronomy, then you know that the relationship between the two, although they may not be fully understood by you, you know that the planets, right, and the zodiac signs have something in common, and it's this frequency. If you are in a family where there's a lot of cuss babies, then you know that there's a lot of karma to be fixed up. If you are dead smack in the middle of your zodiac sign, then that is a telltale sign that you have an assignment to be a bridge. Okay? Those are like some of the telltale signs when we start looking at our birth charts. And a lot of us don't even realize that the karma is related to the energy of the planets. Okay? It's the energy that's related to the planets. Each of these dimensions and realms carry a different frequency, and they carry a different task, right? When you go over to planets that have nothing to do with war, you don't war on them, right? It wouldn't even be your cycle to go there or your turn to go there because the Creator doesn't have you doing that at that particular time. So it's really important to understand the life cycle that you're in and why you're there. It's really, really hard to get a good understanding of what the Creator wants you to do if you're not investigating. You have to be willing to investigate. And we talked about that yesterday, placing yourself in the energy of willingness, opening yourself up, being a willing participant for the Creator to use you. A lot of people who have been chosen to do this, sure, you get a choice, but do you really get a choice? Because if you're not doing what the Creator created you for, then exactly why are you here? What exactly are your plans? If you're not going to do what God wants you to do, then exactly what are you doing? Okay? And this is important simply because we don't have a lot of time. We have all these different planets to visit and so much work to do while we're there. This is why your energy and your life force is important, because if people get to steal your energy, then they get to steal not only your time, they get to steal your experiences, they get to take away from your ability to complete your task. And this is how a lot of people get stuck. This is how a lot of people get earthbound. This is how a lot of people even forget what it is that they were supposed to do here. So the time you've been gifted with is solely based on your task. And if you are not doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing, then you're pretty much wasting the time that the Creator has given you to do your thing, right? And before we go, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Your karma, when you start to embark on this journey and you agree to do what God wants, you are soaking up karma from your past life, your current life, that of your ancestors, and all of that karma is built on and geared towards the new life. All of this is for the new cycle, whether you get to experience it or not. And that's another thing. A lot of people don't even realize that you're building something up for people behind you. And I mean, we've talked about that, but just let's be clear. A lot of these cycles that you're preparing for is for generations to come. And maybe you do get to experience it, but, it's really not for you. Not right now. A lot of the times we may come back and manifest to recharge the energy that we've started, or to live through it a little bit and get, to experience the fruits of our labor. But majority of the time, this is something for the next generation, or the next 5 generations, or the next 7 generations, right? Everything that you do, you have to remember your life is not about you, right? Your journey is solely about your ability to manifest what God has created you for. Many people tend to get selfish and live in the flesh and do things that they want to do, and do things that God has strictly reserved for the next generation, or He wanted to remove it from your scope and your space and your bloodline because it's not necessarily helping. Okay, all of this needs to be laid out for you to understand that your duty is to be 1, 2, or 3 links on the chain, maybe 7, depending on, what type of karma, again, needs to be cleared up. And sometimes the karma is not even you paying back, something that was ruined. Sometimes the karma is for you to build it up. This is good karma. Karma, a lot of people call good karma dharma, right? Depending on who you ask. So it's not even always about you having to clear up something that your ancestors did wrong. Sometimes it's just for you to reap the benefits of the things that were done wrongly against your bloodline. You break the pattern, and then you do get to experience the reward. So you would know, if you are tapped in, then you would know what your place is in all of this. Only God knows, when He created us, what He had in store for us. And then He shares that with us gradually. We graduate through the journey, and we get to go through all these different layers of what our responsibilities are. So I'm going to end it here. I do love you all. Hope y'all have been drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea, because it is free. Alright, and I hope y'all are getting ready weekend. But I'm out of here. I love y'all. Peace.